Welcome back to the Riverside Show. Now, we love to celebrate Glaswegian success here on the show, and our next guest is a successful children's author, both in America and here in the UK, but most of us might not know her name here in Scotland.
Lorraine Johnston, the author of Later Tartan Gator, joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us, Lorraine. Now, tell us a wee bit how the book came about.
The actual book came about originally because I started writing at the suggestion of two friends. I was diagnosed with MS in 2008, and I found myself at home not quite knowing what to do, and a couple of friends said, why don't you try writing? And at first I poo-pooed it, but then I thought, well, there might be a thing here. So this particular book was following a telephone conversation where an American friend, who I used to actually be their children's nanny, she used to say, later Gator, catch you later, or see you later. But this particular day she said, see you later, Tartan Gator. And I said, what? And she said, see you later, Tartan Gator, I have to go. And we said goodbye, and I was left with this whole story that just came flooding into my head about an alligator who eats some haggis and turns tartan, of course.
Amazing. Well, we've got the story here. It
does look brilliant.
Looks like a lot of fun. It looks a fantastic book. So it is the story of an alligator who just becomes a tartan gator.
Basically, it's set in a zoo where there's signs all over the place saying do not feed the animals at any time. And of course, the Scottish family come along, ignore the signs, and feed the alligator some haggis. And he goes for a snooze and he wakes up tartan. And the rest of the story is how he gets back to his normal alligator green.
See, that's why you shouldn't feed the alligators.
Absolutely.
That's why.
Never.
See, things like that can happen and other things. Now, like you said, you're a nanny for 13 years. Yeah. So did you find that 13 years of working with kids then helped with the book and get your head into their mindset?
Essential. I feel I know kids, and even at the grand old age of 46, and that was a career a long time ago. Anytime I'm in the presence of wee ones, I go into that silly nanny mode and usually have them giggling. So it's certainly something that I think is essential to tap into when you're creating silly daft stories like Later Tartan Gator.
Now, you mentioned that you started your writing career after you were diagnosed with MS, but when it comes to getting a book published, how difficult was it? Once you started writing, how many rejections did you get before you finally got this to print?
Well, actually, I had other stories that I was submitting, and I got 49 rejections, and I was feeling a bit, no, that's nothing. No, not at all. But me personally, I thought, I'm not waiting for number 50. And at the same time as that happened, I had this conversation on the phone where Jan said, catch you later, Tartan Gator. So I put those Scottish stories to one side and I wrote this story, and I basically was determined that this was going to get published. So this particular book was fairly easy because I just went for it. I was quite determined. Now I'm coming back to the Scottish stories, and I'm realising just how lucky I was, because it's a difficult market to get into.
So you've got to be determined and persevere as an author. It's fantastic, though, to get it to this stage. Amazing.
And I'd imagine when your friend said to you, go and write a book, you didn't think straight away, you thought, I have to be an author to do that. Or did that thought go through your head?
My response was, don't be so daft, you have to be a writer to write. You know, that was literally word for verbatim what I said. And then the second friend mentioned a couple of days later, you should write for children. And I thought, ooh, something's going on here.
Something clicked as well.
Obviously, other people see something that I don't see myself. So I certainly put myself right into the heart of the writing world, learned everything I could, and it was October 2011 I started writing, and this got a publishing deal on October 2012.
Wow, that's incredible.
But the journey has really come about because of the MS, and to me this is great and I love it to bits, and thank you for having me on the show to promote it. But the bigger journey is actually accepting the diagnosis of MS. So this has given me something that's sedentary and good fun, and means that I can not be idle in my head, but I don't have to do anything too taxing physically.
Well, the book is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on to tell us a wee bit more about it. It was lovely to have you in. Thank you.
Thank you.